What's up?
What's up? We are live, people. Thank you so much again for joining us for our popcorn conversations.
Yeah, but first we have to say it's Timeless Tuesday.
We know everything. It's Timeless Tuesday. We always hear that. So, yeah. Even when people are listening to the replay, they're expecting it's Timeless Tuesday.
That's right. That's right. We usually go live every time. Send out Timeless Tuesdays,
Right.
and they're used to hearing our voices. It's so funny that people will ask, "Where are you guys going to be next?" We just in these
streets. Doing what we do. That's what we're doing. Okay. So thank you all for joining us for Popcorn Conversations, where we are really dealing with some of the big issues that come up in relationships, and we're handling them one pop at a time.
Yes.
And then we do have our popcorn here, and I was telling my wife that I was loving the kind of popcorn that she got this time because it's one of my favorites.
What about the favorite? I cook on the stove. Hello,
You do.
This is out of a bag. Okay, but the one I cook on the stove, you're supposed to say, "Oh, I love that one."
I do.
That's the bestest.
What? I do like that one. I do. But it's nothing like sea salt.
He said, "But it's nothing."
I knew that was coming.
There's nothing like sea salt popcorn, right?
It's a good thing I'm not petty. We have a friend that has a business that says, "God ain't petty, but I am."
That is really our business, okay?
So I'm not gonna be petty, but I'm gonna ask you about my popcorn off the stove. If I put a little sea salt in it, see if it can match up to what come out of the bag.
Baby, anything you put on the stove will be able to. It'll be better than that.
Okay? Well, all right, you said the right thing.
That's the right thing. So we're gonna get into this now, right? Because we've been doing this. It was surprising to me that we've actually been doing these popcorn conversations now for a month.
Yes.
And what are some of the topics that we've dealt with?
Oh my goodness. Well, I remember us talking about do you believe in love at first sight? Mm-hmm. And that was a good discussion. We're not going to go into it, but you can go watch some of the episodes. Yes, that was one of those. And then, this was a good one. We got a lot of good responses on this. It is should couples have prenups?
Remember that one? Should couples have prenups?
Oh yeah, I remember that one well. You can watch that on our YouTube channel as well. And then we had, I love this one. How many times should you be intimate within a week? And I think that may have been my favorite one because because I was learning about the non-sexual touch. Non-sexual touch all the time. And it's so funny because I said, "Come here, come. I need to do my non-sexual touch." And it's really fun and lively.
And then I think for me, I was saying, "Oh, this is my husband tax that I get." I've been doing so well. I get a husband tax.
Yeah, wait till April 15th. That's tax day.
All right.
Listen, we get into our topic. We have one more. Listen, we've been pulling out of the popcorn machine. Let me make sure I got. This is the one.
This was a really good one.
Oh yeah, all of them was really good.
They were.
Okay, this one was, can trust be fully restored after infidelity? And we had a pretty in-depth discussion on that. And we do encourage you to go back and listen to the episode on that particular one. We've already had couples to come up to us and ask us about someone who's been struggling with that. And so it was recommended that they go and watch that episode and just get really deep in that. And if you need to seek further counsel, reach out to us, go to our website and just fill out the information form. And then we can put you in contact with someone in reference to if you need to go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, we handle that one with care because we know that that's a very sensitive subject. When we're talking about infidelity, wanting to make sure that people get the right information and get healed from that, that marriages can be restored even in the face of infidelity. And even if it doesn't work out, We're just hoping that you follow God's direction in that space and do what He wants you to do there.
Absolutely.
So absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Particular episode.
Exactly. We're not getting into the question yet. We got some people that's hanging out with us tonight. Got to get some other voices to hear this conversation we're going to have tonight.
Make sure what we got available.
What do we have available? What put me on the spot? I'm trying to talk about who we have on the screen.
I know.
Listen.
I love those people. But I want to make sure
what do we have available?
We actually have a bundle available.
Oh yeah, we're doing a bundle. So if you go to our website, you can get the game and our Power Couples Rock Journey book. And this is a bundle for $40. And you can go out to our website and look and order. We would appreciate that. But this book also has it's a story about a couple who's going on a cruise, and there are some techniques in here that they use in order to mend their relationship. So
that sounds fascinating.
It is fascinating. It is fascinating. All right. So now that I've done that, can we talk to the people on the screen?
I want to talk to the people on the screen. I really want to talk to these people on the screen.
Go for it.
So I want to welcome some of my bestest friends, some iron sharpening iron couples that we actually have here. And I want to welcome to the Popcorn Conversation, which is Alvin and Victoria Parker. What's How y'all doing?
Doing well.
How are you? All right. So for everyone out there, we have been knowing the Parkers for well over, I hate to say this. I don't hate to say it. I hate that I don't know the exact number. I'll say that we've known them ever since they were dating. And that's been, I was going to say 30, but it's 29 years. We've known you all for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And even though more than 30 years, because we knew Victoria in college.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah, you were in high school.
I did. Go Panthers!
So we've known each other for such a long time. And our relationship has been very, very life-giving, productive. We've gone through seasons together, and they have always been one of our iron sharpening iron couples.
Absolutely.
That we always lean on. So welcome, guys, to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love that. And then the other couple that we have on the show, these are our, how do we describe this couple?
Special.
That pretty much sums it up.
They are special in a great way.
Absolutely.
I mean, literally from the first time that we met them 2 years ago. Now it's been 2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Wow.
At least, or around that time, from the first time that we met, there was an instant connection, just in our spirit, as well as just in some of the things that we like to do. And their personality is so life-giving and God-centered and authentic.
Right.
Real, raw, authentic, that we absolutely have come to just love them as our family forever. So you guys welcome Alvin and Jocelyn Jones.
Yes. And you need couples like this in your life. You do. Both of our couples on here where you can go, we can call Alvin and Victoria late at night.
Yeah.
They'll wake up for us. And Carlos and Catherine's calling. Some rich discussions.
We can.
And we have some stories on that. But it's been a blessing. And then with Calvin and Jocelyn, just to be have that authenticity and to the realness, and we just hit it off from the very beginning. And we're thick as thieves now. They can't get rid of us.
Same.
All the time.
All right.
Let's jump in.
Let's jump into this popcorn conversation tonight. Our question is it the right thing to do to discuss your personal marital issues with your parents or relatives.
Read it again.
I'm going to read it again, and please chime in. Is it the right thing to do to discuss your personal marital issues with your parents or relatives? Ooh.
I want to keep that chat going.
Well,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
when we went through premarital counseling, our pastor at the time said no. Said keep your family out of your marriage. Because if he does something and then I go run and tell my mom or tell my dad, and then I decided to forgive him and I've moved on, mom and daddy, they don't move on. They hold on to things. And so we're trying to restore and get back to happy. But then you go to Thanksgiving dinner and daddy and mama looking at him sideways because they know what he did and they didn't forget. I've forgotten and moved on, but they haven't.
I am with you, Victoria, because what they would do is they'll say, I'm pretending like this is a picture frame. And what you said about Alvin, they put that in that picture frame and they put that on the side of their bed. Every night they meditate on this, and you and Alvin have moved on.
Right.
And you looking at it like, see what they did to my baby? See what he did to my baby? And it's been 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they'll keep holding on to it. So I agree with you there in that space. You're saying no, that you should not. And even in the comments, we got people saying, absolutely not. And I got somebody else said, nope, you should not involve, you should not have those marital conversations with your parents or relatives. I'd love to hear from you, Alvin, and then the Joneses.
They don't put it in a picture frame, Carlos. They put it on a hard drive of their heart. And then yeah, it's very dangerous to do that. The Bible teaches us in Matthew that we leave and cleave to our wife, Matthew 10:5-9. But it just sets a precedent that is not good for the marriage. It's not good for the parents, because now the husband not only has to work, or whoever had the issue has to work to restore trust with the spouse and then with the family members. And you got 1 Corinthians says bad communications or bad company corrupts good manners. And sometimes people unintentionally plant wrong things into the minds of the spouse. And then when situation comes up, that's a reminder. The enemy takes advantage of that. And then you get people upset with each other and they don't even know where it comes from because they've been talking to the wrong people about their marriage. And it's a good rule of thumb. You ask yourself the question, do they have the authority to change anything in my marriage? No. So I shouldn't be talking to them about it. They have no authority to change it.
I do have a question for you, but I'm going to wait.
Yeah, me too. But I
have a question for you. I want to hear from the Joneses.
So I would have to say I agree with a caveat.
Okay.
You know, we always put a twist on everything. You know that.
That caveat on there. What's that?
So my mom is actually one of my best friends, but she is also a prophetess. So a lot of times when I go to her about our marriage, it's not a tattletale thing. It's this is what we dealing with. I need you to be standing in agreement and praying with us.
Oh yeah.
Because what we have found is a lot of times the things that we go through, we can't trust them with anybody else. And a lot of the things that we've experienced, we found that, even if we were to go to a friend and ask that friend to pray or whatever, it gets out, things leak out. So my mom tends to be the one that, when we go through something, and sometimes I don't even have to tell her. I'll call and be like, Mom, I need you to be praying. And she'll be like, I'm already on it. The Lord already showed me what's going on. So I got you. Outside of like prayer request type things,
I got you.
I agree. Like if he plucks my nerves, I don't call her and be like, You know, let me tell you what Calvin
And
did.
that never happens.
I be calling her 4 times a day. 6 on Saturday. But yeah, outside of that, and I really learned that from my first marriage, because this is both of our second go round. And my first marriage, I did that because, again, my mom was one of my best friends. So when stuff was going lopsided, that was the first phone call. And she was very good with not holding grudges. Like, even with the things that we went through in our first marriage, we were separated, I don't know how many times, but when Christmas came around, he was invited for Christmas. They had gifts for him for Christmas. And I was like, why he here? But that's just how they are.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
So
That's
for
good.
me,
Yeah.
so we Joneses put a twist on a little bit everything. And my response to that question, it depends. Similar situation with Jocelyn is that my first wife, I would call my mom, and I used to get mad at my mom because I would call her talking about my ex-wife, and I would be furious. And my mom, next thing I know, yeah, I just talked to your ex. Well, she said her name. I'm not gonna put her name on here, but yeah, I just talked to such and such. I'm like, what you talking to her for? So and when I say it depends on the spirit of the person that you're sharing it with, and how they're gonna have it, and how they're gonna hold it, and what kind of trust. So my mother was saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, and she treated everybody the same. And she always went by this thing. It's your side, it's their side, and in the middle, there's the truth. So she never took sides in that regard. Now, when I start talking to, that's my mom. And now, when we start talking to my siblings and relatives, that's a different story. We're not gonna go there because it'll be just like, yeah, that book, they holding it up, and we got some against them.
Right.
And so, yeah, so even I have siblings, and one of my siblings and his wife, they became unfriends with, we had similar friends, and they felt that because they not friends with them no more, I shouldn't be friends with them anymore. So you have to know who you're dealing with and how to deal with them in order to share certain things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, he said, I was going to say, what if my mama is my best friend? And you just answered that part of it. And I think in the context of having, it's the way you approach what you're trying to get across. You know, you're using wisdom. It's not to tear your spouse down. It's not to, it's not to,
That's not your intent.
That's not your intent. And I think, and being guarded and knowing that your mom is praying, mom, and this for anything, any praying, that's what you do. You're not actually going into all of the specifics of what the details of that is, which is important because you don't want them to be persuaded in any way, whatever that may be. And I think that's crucial to keep in mind. The other thing I'll say is, if you and your spouse are in agreement on certain, since we're talking about your mom is as your friend, if you're in agreement with that and you know how far and what can be discussed, then if you guys are in agreement to that degree, and knowing that the position that your mom stands in, where she is a prophetess and where she can, see things, then that's another take on it, and so I respect that part of it. I know for us, we are pretty much on the same lines as Alvin and Victoria, as far as just keeping those lines separate. Yeah, because I don't know the close people around me if they are prophetess. I don't think so.
Can I add something in there, Catherine?
Please, Alvin.
Calvin and Josh, they have a very rare space where they know somebody that's spiritually mature, that
Right.
spends a lot of time in prayer, and probably have already picked those things up in prayer as a covering. That those things you can discuss with your pastor. And if you can't talk to your pastor about it, I'm just frank, you're in the wrong church, because that's what. But having somebody that's spiritual and spiritually mature, they're probably picking those things up in prayer before you even decide to discuss it, which sounds like in you all's case, that's rare. And then pastoring people over 20 years, that's rare that people have folks outside of a pastor or somebody, a leader that they trust, to be able to talk to them about those things. So that's a very good point.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I think for us, when we got married over 33 years ago now, give it up. Yeah. When we got married over 33 years ago.
Yes.
I think for me,
Good
it
stuff.
was a very hard line for me, for my parents and her parents, that we would not cross that line.
Right.
And I believe it was because of the environment that I was brought up in.
Yeah.
Not just with my mom and my dad, but also with my extended family as well. It was very challenging to see it was very rare. Not that there weren't any. Hard to see some healthy couples that I could go to in my family. And so, and I saw what that did to my family, because I would be in the midst of conversations that people were having about other people's spouses and things like that. And I wanted to protect my wife.
Yeah.
In that, so from the get-go, we just said, okay, we are not going to be discussing any of our marital situations with our family members. One is because I didn't trust that they would hold it sacred. And then two, I just wanted our parents to be parents. And I didn't want anything to shine a dim light on my wife at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know that it was already, at some point, it was already tumultuous anyway with some of the people in our marriage when we first got married. So that automatically, I did not have trust. And that I trusted her, but I didn't trust what people were feeling about us at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I just think that's what we're going to do. And we've been able to protect that all these years.
Yes. Yes. Another way to, just to seek wise counsel, we felt like just to seek it outside of that. And that way you could enjoy family reunions, Thanksgiving, all of those things without any tension going.
Eat your peace.
Yes.
No, and that was very important for us, again, for them too, because I knew how protective Catherine's parents were of her. And if there is anything that let me tell you what we did. When I first married her, I said, I want to know everything that you owe your parents. I want to know if you borrowed money from them, anything like that, because the first thing we're going to do is pay them all. We're not going to owe them anything, because now you are my wife and this is our household. Right, exactly. That's exactly what I did now. This is our household. I brought you in, and so I want to make sure that I can take care of you. We will take care of this situation together. And so from that point on, it's like when we don't cross that line, because even doing that, you start to tell your business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You start to tell your business about your finances.
Sure
do. And you're always going to borrow money. Well, you're telling business.
Yeah.
And then you're telling business if you have to continue to borrow money from your bank. You are terrible at money management.
Yeah.
Again, and then they don't want to see you.
I know.
They know you're coming to ask for something.
Right?
They do. And then here's the other thing too. You take your kids over there all the time, and then you don't come back and pick them up when you're supposed to. When you start telling your business. David, that you're being disrespectful and to your children because you don't have the maturity to go pick them up when you say you're going to pick them up.
Right.
Let me clarify something about what you borrowing money. I had really no debt. It was a college loan, very small
debt,
and we won't talk about
medical stuff too.
No, that was taken care of.
Right.
Anyway, that wasn't it. He's forgetting. He's getting a little bit more mature. So some things are not as clear as they used to be.
He don't remember the story right. He ain't remember the story right.
I gotta help it.
She owed like $300,000, not to pay that off.
Yeah. Oh, he's a man. But no, I had a because we got married not too long. I guess after I graduated, but I had a small loan. And I told my dad when you get that 6 months grace period back in the day. I don't know what it is now. And I asked my dad, will you just pay it off and then I'll pay you so I don't have to worry about any interest? Mm-hmm. And so he paid it off and I was just paying him. And in between that time, of course, we ended up getting married and Carla's like, what do you owe your dad? We're going to pay it off. Okay, so it was just
I also went to him and I said, okay, so what kind of insurance do you have on her at this point? I said, because she's my wife now. And so you don't have to pay insurance anymore. I said, we got this.
Yes.
We're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
All of that. Because I took that responsibility serious because I wanted to make sure that I was protecting them. So even if I'm not having conversations with them, my actions will have conversations with them. If that makes sense. Yeah. So I want to hear from them about just your situations and what you all think from that questionnaire, discussing those marital issues. We established it with the parents, but also with your relatives as well. And I know, Calvin, you went there already. So I didn't know, Alvin, if you had any commentary on that.
About sharing with others.
Outside of your parents, but with other family members.
No, that's let me tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you what's even worse is listening to other people complain about their spouse and their marital issues. Tell you what happens. Faith comes by hearing, and so does fear come by hearing.
Come on.
If you listen to conversations of people complaining about their spouse,
wow,
what will happen is if you come home, you listen to that all day, you entertain that on a regular basis, you come home and your spouse does something that remotely looks like what you've been hearing, you jump into conclusions and they haven't done anything. That's dangerous. You're actually sowing that in your heart. So you really have to guard against those type of conversations with other people about your spouse or entertaining other people's complaints about their spouse. You got to learn how to turn that conversation towards something productive and not let your ears be garbage cans, because that will get in your marriage if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Ears become garbage cans.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's good. You said that's true, Jocelyn. What do you mean? Expound on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's true that other people's crap can influence, your marriage. So yeah, that's very true. Even some of the things you look at on TV can influence your marriage.
You want to tell that? You want to tell them about that?
So true.
Go for it.
What you listen to, what you watch, what you feed on, it'll affect. Early in our marriage, we're gonna say years ago.
That was years ago.
I was a lifetime TV station watching girl. So I would go to sleep watching this stuff. And y'all know Lifetime, somebody cheating, somebody got an extra family, somebody. So guess what happened? I'm waking up in the middle of the night, punching him, because I done had this nightmare that he done cheated on me and he decided to run off with the other woman. And he said, Victoria, I ain't even done nothing. But what you gonna do is you gonna keep watching that Lifetime, because that's what them nightmares. I stopped watching it, and I didn't have any more dreams about him being unfaithful. It was coming back when I was watching.
Yeah.
Wow.
What you see, what you hear, you know, things that you have in conversation, it gets into your heart. And then the next thing you know, it's coming out in areas that you weren't intending for it. You never expected it to come out in. Because the enemy is crafty. He ain't gonna come and say, bye, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna make Alvin cheat on you in your dream. He's not gonna do that. Little, you know, and then next thing
movie.
Look, let me see your phone and who you been talking to. See, then you go to doing all that old foolishness. You know what I mean? Just because you've been watching.
Then you call your mama and say, guess what? I think you cheated on me.
Yeah.
Because I had a dream, you know, and then if you got one of them mamas that's got that dream book, you know, saying the dream book, it said, you just way out there in left field. He ain't done nothing. She hasn't done anything. It's because you watching and listening to wrong things.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and they created a whole narrative.
That was it. I started watching the cooking show, then I could dream about recipes I'm gonna make.
Can I share something? Can I share something with y'all that's pretty wild when you share stuff with other people outside your marriage? I used to work with Jocelyn's ex-husband, and we both would go out to lunch. I was going through my divorce. He was dealing with his situation with Jocelyn, and we were sharing. Look, they were. I said he was dealing with his situation with you, not you the situation. Anyway, and so we were feeding off each other.
Wow.
And then they got back together during that time, and I got introduced to her just by passing, and they ended up getting a divorce and breaking up, and I saw some good there. So that's why we've been together for 19 years. So I'm just saying, you need to be careful who you're talking to. I'm not saying I stole her. She was free and clear.
Yeah.
She was free and clear. But
and she won the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leftovers taste better reheated. So
I like that. I like it.
Oh my God.
I know.
I love it.
I would say it, Alvin, I wanted to ask you because they had said, hey, we would be able to talk to our parents if they were in that space where they were mature enough spiritually to be able to walk through that. So for all of you all, I just want to ask then, what's your language and how do you protect your spouse if you are talking with someone that is your parents or someone close in your family that you feel like you can trust? Still, how do you protect your spouse from being protecting their reputation, protecting the sanctity of your relationship and your covenant? How do you do that well?
I think for me, it's easy because of who my mom is. Like my mom knows Calvin's true intentions. She knows that he loves me. So even if I go to her and if I'm saying to her, you know, something don't feel right, I don't know if Calvin's cheating or whatever. That's why he was pointing, because we went through that phase too. But I won't look in that Lifetime. He was looking at Lifetime, but I won't. But I was like, I don't know if, something just doesn't feel right. And she was like reassuring. She was like, no, your husband loves you. Your husband is being faithful to you. You have to change your mindset. You have to stop allowing the enemy to put this stuff into your mind. So for me, going to her is easy. Now, I have gone to her less in the last, I guess 5 years. in the last 5 years or so, because our communication has gotten better. And so because our communication has gotten better, things that I maybe would have gone to her before previously and talked to her about because I didn't think he was open to discussing it, I can now discuss it with him and he's okay talking about it. And it doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't have to be, anything that's harmful to our relationship. We actually have healthy conversations.
Okay.
It's good.
Go ahead, Alvin.
For us, we talk so much about things we have issues with because we learned early on through counseling how important communication is. And so we talk, and then I spent a lot of time talking to God about it, praying for her, praying for me, because the one thing God showed me through prayer is I can change me.
That's
So
right.
since I'm the lead,
That's right.
Come on.
I'm
That's
going to
right.
be the first to forgive. I'm going to be the first to love. So I've always taken that position. And I'm always looking at what door did I leave open, what door. Because here's the thing. I know I can talk to God in prayer. And I know that his spirit lives on the inside of me. And if there's an issue there, he's going to reveal it to me if I'm open. And so I stay open to that. And we talk constantly. And sometimes we have to, you ain't going nowhere. You'll be all right. We'll talk about it in the morning. We can't figure it out right now, so we'll just figure it out in the morning. We've had those kind of conversations where in the moment there's so much emotion there that we really can't find the words to express it. And rather than express wrong words that can be damaging, we both give each other that space to say, you know what? I don't want to say anything wrong or damaging right now. You're going to have to give me the space to talk about this and table it later. We'll come back to it. And I had to learn how to deal with that as a man because, I like to fix stuff. If it's wrong, let's fix it now. I want to fix it right now because working through that. So God has really helped us with that over the years. So I really can't say, my mom is praying, and that's, if it was anybody I talked to, probably be her, because she loves Victoria just as much as she loves me. And she's, so grateful for her. But it's just us talking to each other in prayer.
I was going to say, and hearing that, and you may be thinking, what? I have never talked to a single person in either one of our families, mother, father, anything about our marriage relationship.
Nobody.
Never have. And so I think that's what keeps the marriage relationship protected and strong and in other people's eyes. He and I have a motto: it's me, you, and God against the world. And so when we can't agree, the Holy Spirit is the referee. The Holy Spirit is what's going to help us do that. So we go to God. I go to God. He goes to God, because that's the only person that can help us fix this.
The right way.
Out of this can help us fix whatever the issue is. I'm like, Lord, that's your child. You know how you work, you know how I work. So wisdom on what to do in this situation right here. I need to talk to him, or if it's me, then talk to me. And so that has always worked for us, because we're both looking to see, what did I do? How did I contribute to this situation getting where it is right here? Looking at somebody in my family, I don't care who it is, they can't speak to that. They can't help me with that. So they don't know what's going on in these doors unless I tell them. And then I'm going to do my part. Not, and part of what I remember.
See it from your perspective. It's from your perspective, right?
Exactly. It's from my perspective.
I love what you said.
One more thing. We determined this: the word of God settles all indifferences.
That's it right there.
Because you can't argue that. Right. I mean, you can argue if you want to, you're just going to find yourself on the wrong side of it. But that's what we've agreed to.
That's what we've
agreed to. The word settles all indifferences.
All right. We had a comment here in the chat that said, one person said, first to pray and first to plow. So I think it belongs to what you said. I'm the leader. I'm going to be the first to pray, and then I'm going to be the first to actually step in and look at how do we actually resolve this issue, because I'm already prayed about it and walking through it. So as a man, kind of stepping up to that space to say, I'm going to lead my family. We are going to have some challenging situations, But
Right.
I'm going to be the first to address it. I'm going to be the first to go to God in this situation. Now, the only thing that I do go to God, go to my family about, and I've been very intentional about that, is showing them what a healthy relationship and marriage looks like.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to my family all day long about that.
Yeah.
Because they need that. And I believe that we are agents of God, that
Absolutely.
we should be representing him and his people and Christ and the church, and be an example for not only our children, but also for our nieces and our nephews. And those other people that are out there that are seeking a God-fearing, life-giving, healthy relationship. And we take that very serious. That we are living in authenticity in our relationship. So I'll talk to my family members, parents all day long about that.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. That's you need to do it. And we need it because so many people are afraid of being married. You have some people are afraid that they can't commit to a marriage for a long period of time because they see
may not have the right perception or paradigm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so many tools and resources that now we can have in our arsenal if we would just use them, if we would just use it. And that's crucial for us to have in our relationship. We are discussing, just sharing with our audience, is it the right thing to do to discuss personal marital issues with your parents or relatives? And we've had a rich discussion around this. We want to make sure that you go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can hear this. And we'd love to hear your comments in reference to this topic. I think we've had some good dialogue in reference to this, and it's been really helpful and healthy. I love healthy conversation.
Yeah.
So I would say that please go out and have somebody else take a look at this as well. The word of God is going forth. And I just want to say thank you to our guests on tonight, Alvin and Victoria Parker, and Calvin and Jocelyn Jones. Hey, Alvin and Victoria, just one last question or one last comment that you guys have to make about this particular topic, and the same for you, Joneses. How do you want to close out? If you want anything that you want these couples to remember.
You know what? I seek out people who have strong marriages, not perfect marriages, strong marriages to fellowship with. Because when we first were married, guys, and plenty of other couples you've had on the show, was a safe space for us to say, okay, we ain't crazy. We just learning how to live together. Able to hear those things and hear those conversations in the right context, not from a perception of complaining, has made a difference along with the word of God. And to have that kind of fellowship with people who have strong marriages, because you can glean things from each other. And you say it all the time, iron sharpening iron. I think that's one thing that people miss out on when they don't connect with each other in a local church or whatever your community is. You need to have like-minded, strong marriage and people who want their marriage.
Right. Yeah.
They love each other, not just in love with being married.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I would say continue to invest in your marriage and in communication, and also what changed a lot for Jocelyn and myself, definitely prayer, seeking God, but also seeking counsel. And we, honestly speaking, we didn't have proper counsel in our church, so we went to a Christian counselor who was non-partial. You know, some of the sessions. Wow. That's awesome. I was getting toe up, and some Jocelyn was getting toe up, but it was all biblical. It was all biblical, and so a good Christian counselor definitely helped us and put us on the next level of what marriage is about. Yeah. So don't be afraid to invest in your marriage and spend a little money, in that, in like-minded people going to conventions, marriage conferences, and things of that nature, and movements where like-minded people are together, like the
UCB
Parkers,
Alive.
UCB Alive, like the Carters mentioned. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Don't be cheap.
Don't be cheap. Invest in this. Something we're gonna be together in a lifetime.
Right.
Yes.
And get the Power Couples Rock game.
That's right. Exactly. Okay. Well, we're going to pull the next question from our popcorn.
Uh-oh.
So let's see what we have.
Oh, it'll be good.
Here it comes.
It will be good.
Put a little sea salt on it.
You
With all the extras that fall out.
Yeah, exactly.
What you do with all the extras that fall out? Do you put them back in?
No,
No,
keep
we
them
keep
out.
them because we wanna just kind of go over what we've been discussing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that is.
Uh-oh.
Why is money a major source of contention in the relationship?
Whoa.
Can we continue
Yeah.
tonight on that?
Can we continue tonight?
Oh, wait, you got the time to think about
Yeah,
this.
just go on and let it run over a little bit.
Wait, this is gonna be a good one. Why is money a major source of contention in a relationship? Whew. Y'all sound like y'all ready for that one. Hot topic right there. Hot topic.
Some story.
That's
I got some stories. This is gonna be fantastic.
But can we do something a little bit different tonight?
What's that?
Okay.
I just want you guys to give your spouses just a little kiss.
Oh, I charge you for that.
I know.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day coming up. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we want to thank you all for joining us for our popcorn conversation, where we delve into the big questions that pop up in your relationship.
Right.
And we are answering them one pop at a time. Enjoy your night and join us next Tuesday as we delve into this question about why is money a major source of contention in the relationship. Come on now.
Let's go, people.
Let's go. Thank you all for joining us.
Good night.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.